Known as Uber Dave. I'm nobody. I'm just a dad who lives in Iowa City, works in Iowa City. I got involved when I saw a video of militarized corporate security thugs bear macing indigenous women just because they were praying for clean water. Minnie started at Standing Rock to fight the Dakota Access Pipeline. It's so much more than that now. Minnie is more than a cause, it's more than a movement. It is a global indigenous renaissance. We have to adapt indigenous ways if we want sustainable clean water. We have about a generation and a half left of clean water on this planet. If we stay on the path we're on, your children will suffer for lack of clean water, and their children will perish with the path we're on. For 12,000 years, people lived here in North America, and they had no water pollution. 200 years ago, there were 600 different distinct languages in North America, distinct cultures and nations. Right now, that's about 200. That's down 2/3 of all those cultures are gone. And that's about the same amount of clean water that's gone. We're down to about 1/3 of our clean water, and there's no coincidence between that. It's correlation. We must combine an ancient indigenous wisdom with state-of-the-art clean energy technology. We must learn the meaning of sacred. We've lost that in our culture. The earth is sacred, water is sacred, life is sacred. We just think about the here and now. We must think 7 generations to come. Our actions today, what they will affect our 7 generations to come. And we also need to realize that we walk with 7 generations behind us. We are uninvited guests here. You need to earn your welcome. Walk in prayer. Come from a place of love. Be considerate of cultural appropriation. The understanding of generational trauma. Respect Native sovereignty. Demand that our government honor our treaties. Learn American and Iowan Native history and insist that it becomes required in Iowa public schools. Let's make Iowa a place where all indigenous people feel welcome and at home. While we're at it, we can bring some positive changes to the IUB. When I first learned of the IUB's negligent and corrupt eminent domain land grab, I thought no Iowan who knew this would stand for it. It's a 3-person appointed board. As we know, they have too much power. We know about the lawyer on there from the Dakota Access Pipeline Front Group. Bismarck, North Dakota rejected this pipeline because it was deemed unsafe for the people living there. Why would the IUB deem it safe for the people of Des Moines? Why would Terry Branstad? At least he's smart enough not to stick around to find out. We can make the state 100% renewable, town by town, city by city. We're already at 30% wind power. Mid-American Energy is going 100% wind power. We've got municipalities like Decorah now looking to create their own grids because they are facing all the obstructions from other power companies. We have the technology, solar and wind, and one of the best things we can do for our future is to bring industrial hemp to this state. You cannot get high from smoking industrial hemp, and you can replace anything made from petroleum or trees. It aerates the soil and does not leach nutrients. It's a $1 trillion industry, and it's coming to Iowa whether you like it or not. So the family farmers should get on board before big corporations and other countries come in and buy up our farmland and make all that money. Why would anybody favor oil barons and sheiks over the Iowa farmer? The Iowa farmers can be the new sheiks of this world. We have all the solutions right here. Adapt indigenous ways, make positive changes to the IUB, make Iowa 100% renewable, and bring hemp to clean our water and soil. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Danielle Wanati.
Hope Biwani Nadishis, Neweme Guhis. I'm Danielle Wanati. I'm also a member of the Meskwaki Nation, also federally recognized in the United States as Sac and Fox of the Mississippi and Iowa. I'm also a member of the Thunder Clan and Eagle Clan. I've been fighting against this pipeline for 3 years, almost going on 4 years now. And the reason why I do it is not for me, it's for all of you guys. The pipeline doesn't run through my land, but it runs through my Iowa. And I am an Iowan, and that's what matters to me. What we have to understand is that the Iowa Utility Board are still human beings, and they're touted with a tough decision to make. So we must pray for them to make the right decisions. I know it's hard for some people to do, but when we're held accountable, we have to have insurance whenever we drive a car. And so why isn't that mandated for them? Why do they have a lower standards than what us Iowans have? And so that's what I'm asking for everybody to do, is raise their own bar for this environment and for our future generations. I'm 41, and I know my parents have fought for rights and civil rights and equal rights for everybody in the state of Iowa. And so when I realized how much they've done when I was a child, I now realize the first 40 years I lived for them, and I did for them. So the next 40 years, I do for the future generations, like my daughter who is 8. I realize she's just now beginning her schooling, and they don't teach the right things in school. So it's my priority to teach her on what's right for the state of Iowa. Because even though we are Meskwaki, we still live in the state of Iowa, and we're not leaving. We bought our land in 1857, the first 80 acres. The United States government tried to assimilate Native Americans to their U.S. government and their society. What they didn't realize is it was us that is going to have to assimilate the United States in order to live with us in an environment and nature peacefully. That's something they forgot. That's okay, I forgive them. They weren't taught properly. They weren't told how to respect the land, how to respect each other, how to respect their elders, their veterans, or their children, let alone the water. So of course we're at this state now. But the further back into your history you can look, the further into your future you can see. That's how come you have to look before 1492 and how it was before then. We can all live together. What you don't understand is, yes, I'm an indigenous Native American from this land here that they call Turtle Island. But what you don't understand is the white man is also indigenous too from someplace, and we have to understand that also. We are all human beings. And that's something we all forget. We all have feelings, we all are fighting for humanity, the pursuit of happiness in this nation. What does that mean if we have no water? Water is life. Our children depend on it. If you see an elder on his last days of breath, they ask for water at the end. In the beginning of a life, you breathe water in your mother's womb before you breathe air on this earth. That's how important water is to life. And what we don't understand is that, yes, climate change is coming. We are aware of it. We've survived thousands and thousands of years on this land. What nobody else understands is, how did we survive? It wasn't just because we thought about it, but we also prayed, but we learned how to live with this land. That's something that United States society forgot nowadays. They're so complacent with their comfortability, their greed. Maybe they have to get out of their comfort zone in order to realize how much important this earth is to them. In the state of Iowa, our commerce depends on our land, our soil. Once we put a pipeline through that and pimp out my great-grandchildren, that is the end of our state and what is right and how we pride ourselves in this flag, what it says on that flag. We pride ourselves in our liberties and this rights in this state. We don't sell out. We're the last line of defense, the heart of this nation. Why do you think they call us the heartland? The Iowa Utility Board has to be held accountable. As you can see in Flint, Michigan, them 5 elected officials were held accountable for contaminating the water and not doing their due diligence for the state or for their own community. And that's what that Iowa Utility Board is going to be held accountable. And next is this state. They can be held accountable for what they do to these people in the state of Iowa. They have laws to follow also. They have to have insurance just like every single one of us to drive a car. There's certain things you have to do. Why is it that we are less important than what North Dakota is? Look, we have trees, we have grass, we have corn all over the place. North Dakota doesn't have it like that. But yet, North Dakota decided that they could put the pipeline south of Bismarck because they didn't want it there. Well, what does that say about the state of Iowa? They decided to diagonally cut the state of Iowa. For what reason? For greed. This pipeline makes no stop in Iowa. No oil gets off on Iowa. Eminent domain is not for public gain. And that's the thing that they forgot over there. So now we have to start speaking up as Iowans and saying, hey, you can't do that no more. Tell them what's wrong with that. Maybe their parents didn't tell them what was right or wrong. Then it's up to you to hold everybody responsible as human beings to this earth. Watch out for these kids. Start taking care of your elders and your veterans. What's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. That's what you forgot. That's what we have to get back to. I cry every day just because I think about everybody, you know. I wonder when this pipeline breaks, because it is going to break. Well, if they're so worried about jobs, make them dig it up and put 2 more pipes around it then. There's more jobs. The hell? Why don't we deserve that as human beings in the state of Iowa? Why doesn't my daughter deserve that? My first grandchild will be born September 10th. Why doesn't my grandchild deserve that? That's what I'm fighting for nowadays. If my daughter can't nurse her child, what am I going to do? Who's going to help me? The state? The Iowa Utility Board? No, it's us who is going to help each other. If you're hungry, I'll feed you. If you need some place to stay, I'll shelter you. If you need some love, I'll hug you. If somebody's bothering you, stand behind me, I'll defend you. At least I'll know it's you stabbing me in the back. But I want to protect everybody in this state. And the first thing is talking about it, dialoguing about it, in order to come up with the solutions to better our state for our people in the state of Iowa. That's something they forgot. Remind them, use your voice, keep speaking up, keep writing your letters, keep calling, keep getting into their face. Be that fly that annoys them. Just be fast enough they don't swat you and kill you. But you have to think and you have to care and you have to keep loving. A lot of these people hate. Forgive them. They don't know any better. They're still pitiful human beings who still need water to live. But you know, we are all here together. And that's something that we have to keep spreading. If you talk to one person a day, my sister told me, because I was so tired, I just wanted to give up. I'm done. What's the use? 3 years, nobody's listening, nobody hears. But when I hear you guys talk, I know you guys hear me. It's sad because I thought I was alone for like the first 2 years, but you guys hear, you guys are talking. My sister said, if you talk to one person a day, that's 365 people a year. You talk to one person, they go talk to somebody. Now imagine all of you guys talk to one person a year. How many people we affect? How many people we reach? Not because we hate, but because we love and we care. That's something they don't understand. And it's okay. It's going to take some time. Look how far it took us to get to this point. Roughly 40 years for us to depend on oil and be greedy like that. Well, it's going to be the next 40 of my life that we make it better and change it around. That's how long it's going to take. So pace yourselves, take care of yourselves, and keep at it. I want to grow old with every single one of you. Hopefully one day we'll all have white hair, and this place will be a better state for all of us. We'll get there. Just keep at it. I promise it will be. Make sure to, even hug your enemy. Forgive them. Just, get their name first in case we have to charge them. Thank you guys for all being here, and I pray for you guys every day. I love you guys. Okay?
We love you too, Danny.
Dios Señor, en el po Gabriel Yalatea, en el po en Pasco Yaqui Pueblo po en Tucson, Arizona po en Dios en Trogotes. Y toma chay, en el Choco en el Chiapsita. Si me en aña po, yo me con energía en el Chiapsita. I want to introduce myself. My name is Gabriel Ayala. I come all the way from the desert in Tucson, Arizona. And we as desert people know that importance of water. We get less than 10 inches of rainfall a year. We know that importance of what water brings, the vegetation, that it brings life. As a water protector, I can tell you it's disappointing, it's disheartening. For those of us that were in Ochete Shakawin for months at a time, I can tell you that we've seen things that we probably don't even realize are real still. Just like when people go off to war, when they come home, they have ceremonies for them to welcome them back, to help wipe those tears of them for those things that they had to see. And I think it's the same way as water protectors that don't feel safe around policemen anymore. On that side of their vehicles, it serves to serve and to protect. But they didn't protect us. They didn't serve us. They served the oil. They served the people with money. And indigenous people, we don't have that money. We have spiritual wealth. And that's what sustained us. That's what has sustained us over 500 years. Our spirituality, our ability to still have our languages, to still have our way of life, to still have our culture, the ability to laugh at ourselves in those times of trials and tribulations. They couldn't break us. Morton County, they couldn't break us. DAPL, mercenaries, Border Patrol, they wondered why we were laughing when they're using sound cannons on us. We're laughing at them. And that's not something that you can teach. That's something you're ingrained with as an indigenous person, is to know that this has been occurring for, again, over 500 years. But we continue. We're here, we're evidence.